Good morning, everybody. How are we this beautiful, beautiful day? And before we get started, just say hit that subscribe button, ring that bell to get notifications. If you want to talk about football, that's what we're going to do today. We're just going to talk about football. My stream is not that great this morning. Ain't that lovely? I just love it. I do. Where's everybody at? Well, Robbie Mack, this is probably my first official live stream of for country living. So what's up, Buttram? Robbie Mack's in the house. I don't know. It says I got 3 watching, which is cool. But let me preface this by saying I'm a Gator fan. For those of you that have not been watching my other channel and know me, on the 3D side, you can see my 3D printers back here in the back. This is not my normal show. This is my country living channel, and I can talk about whatever in the hell I want to here. What's up, Minnesota Maker? How are you? I will tell you that sometimes these streams will be unfamily friendly because my mouth will overload my ass in a hurry, especially when talking about football. But I want to talk about the Florida Gators and playing LSU. I was in Maryland at a conference for 3D printing called EARF, the East Coast Rep Festival, and there was an after party that I skipped in order to go back to the hotel room and watch this football game. I will tell you, normally during a football game, I will say a lot of choice words at the TV. When we played Auburn, my wife is normally just as vocal, if not more vocal than I am when it comes to talking to the TV and cussing at the TV. I got to see what the deal is. I may need to reset my modem here. Let me see what my output is on my network. Very crappy, but it's better than nothing right now. I don't know why what am I at? I'm at auto 720, so it's not too bad, but hey, it don't look 720. How about that? It looks like it's picking up some. All right, anyway, let me close this down. During the LSU game, I said probably 10 choice words, and it looks like StreamYard or my internet is blowing up. Let me see here. Not too bad, I don't guess. Yeah, it is. It's blowing up. It's stupid. Where we at? Output 1500. That should be right. Balance. That should be right. That should all be right. Everything should be right. Should be good to go. That's weird. Video output. That's all weird. That's all good. Everything should be good. Cancel. Video card should be keeping up. And video is not too bad. It's all right. Anyway, it's good enough to talk about football. I'm not trying to show y'all any stinking detail. But I did not say very many choice words during the LSU game, which was uncharacteristic to me. But I have to say, for the most part, other than a boneheaded friggin' holding call, the Gators played friggin' clean. I mean, it wasn't a lot of mistakes. We had 2 interceptions. One of them called back for some stupid crap, and we had one in the end zone that was boneheaded. But Kyle Trask doesn't have any. He's still working on that playing experience. Let me say this. I'm a Felipe Franks fan. He's from my home city. Crawfordville, Florida is where I was raised. Football since he was in middle school. He graduated with one of my daughters. I'm a Franks fan. I will, however, say this. I heard this somewhere else. Kyle Trask has a higher floor but a lower ceiling than Felipe Franks. He is a more consistent quarterback than Felipe Franks. Is he better? No. Does he read defenses a little better? Probably. He can't run as good. He can't throw as far. It's just, it is what it is. I think the two offset each other, and that's all I'm going to say. But the eye test for the LSU game was that the Florida Gators were supposed to be in that game. It could have been worse in both directions. Everybody keeps saying, well, it could have been a lot worse for Florida. Well, hell, it could have been a lot worse for LSU too. Had we kept both of our NFL draft prospect pass rushers in the game, which we did not. I think it was Grenard left on the first series in the first quarter, and I think Zuniga stayed into the second quarter, and then he went out. So we and neither one of them were 100% to start the game. So we didn't start off 100% to begin with. LSU got a lot of their defenders back, which made their defense better, which is awesome. I mean, they're a freaking awesome team. I will tell you that the Gators lost to the better team, and I'm going to tell you that as a Gator fan, LSU was better than we were. Joe Burrows is lights out. I give it to LSU. They have a frigging quarterback that can throw the ball, and Joe Brady, I think is his name, their offensive coordinator. He brought the NFL style down there, and they are executing it to a T. So hats off to LSU for whipping our ass in that respect. Our defense was uncharacteristic in that we gave up a lot of running yards. But if you go back and look, that's not to be unexpected either. I mean, there was times where we were gashed in the run. Even with our good guys in there, we were gashed on the run. It wasn't a surprise to me. So I didn't even cuss about that a lot because LSU, our offensive line is not that good. They're okay at pass blocking, run blocking. They suck. I mean, just suck straight up. Hats off to LaMichael Pirine and the rest of the running backs for getting as much production as they have out of this whatever we have as an offensive line. And I'm not going to knock individual players at all because I know that those boys go out and give everything that they've got. But eye test wise, Florida was in this game right up till midway through the third quarter. Okay. And that's when the run game and Joe Burrows just took over. I mean, we had a couple of boneheaded plays on the back end that let some, passers slide down. One of our cornerbacks run into somebody. And, it left somebody wide open for a 74-yard friggin' touchdown. That's going to happen. I didn't think our offense was up to the task, but they were. I mean, in the first half, it was they score, we score. They score, we score. They stop us, we stop them. They score, we score. It just what it was. It was a good friggin' football game. I've watched every chat room, every article. I've seen everything from Missouri Tigers to Alabama fans to Tennessee fans, all running their friggin' yappers. Blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Alabama has to play LSU. That's going to be a good damn football game. Okay? Because Alabama can pass it on pretty much anybody. Okay? Kyle Trask had success passing the ball. Now, he threw 39 times, had 24 completions or whatever. I don't remember. His passer rating wasn't the greatest, but it was still pretty damn good. Okay? Well enough to beat most teams, even on our schedule. We've got South Carolina, Georgia, and Missouri coming up. And there's one in between Georgia and Missouri, this time Vanderbilt, I think. So we've got South Carolina, then we've got a bye, then we've got Georgia, then we've got Vanderbilt, then we've got Missouri. Everything we need to do to win the East is in front of us, and it is absolutely doable. Did anybody see the game between South Carolina and Georgia? Again, I was at a conference. I did not get to watch the whole game. I have it queued up in my YouTube channel. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch that game. Oh, what's up, Chris Gulata? Welcome to the chat, my friend. I know that most of the guys that are in here, all my 3D printing friends, and they're not as into college football as I am. But hopefully we can get some of you guys to come in here, maybe after the fact. Leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think about how the game turned out. But back to what I was talking about earlier, this game could have turned out worse for both teams. Okay? LSU could have scored a hell of a lot more points. Our defense kept them from doing so. The way football is supposed to be played. Our offense made a couple of boneheaded plays. Their defense and their offense took advantage of those. Had we not made those two plays, the game wouldn't have been 2 touchdowns. I actually picked LSU to win this game right before the game. My buddies from Slice Engineering were at the conference, and they're all Gator fans. And I got punched in the shoulder for saying that I was having LSU by 3. And I should have said by 7. I gave that to the crowd because I thought the teams were a little more equal than they are, but their offense is heads and tails above what a lot of people are in this country. I can see LSU being in the national championship this year. They're that good. They're that good of a team. I went back and rewatched the film. I know, Buttram. I know you're not into my college, but you should be if you want to be a winner. You know. Anyway, I went back and watched this film, and dude, they're going to hurt some folks. Alabama, that's a push right now. Joe Burrows is going to eat Alabama's defense for lunch. Now, do I think Tua and his receivers, because he has a slew of friggin' receivers that are crazy good. Do I think Tua and his receivers can feast on LSU's defense? Yes. Yes, I do. Trask had success. Trask is not Tua. Okay. Trask does not, he's not the run threat that Tua is. That's one part that is missing from our offense. And when Jalen Jones comes in, we get that back. As he becomes a more polished passer, he is going to be elite. We're in the second year of Dan Mullen's rebuild. Okay. And I don't care if we went 10-2. I don't care if we went 11-1 last year. It is a rebuild. Our depth is zero, pretty much across the board. Okay. When CJ Henderson or Marco Wilson go down, the secondary doesn't drop off a lot, but it drops off. When we lost Zuniga and Grenard, our defensive pass rush was non-existent. Our run stopping ability dropped off to less than half of what it should have been. Okay. So our depth is zero. Our offensive line, hell, even our starters aren't that great. They're getting better. They're getting better every game. Piron had some runs this game that he couldn't have in the last game and this was against a better defense. It is what it is. They are getting better. They're inexperienced, just like Trask. That's what I saw on the field. I saw a good Florida team get beaten by a much better LSU Tiger team. The LSU Tigers are way more complete and have way more depth than what Florida does. Now, as Dan Mullen continues to build and as he continues to recruit, that will get better. I'm sick and tired of all these people thinking that, going 10-2 in the first year and going 10-2 in the second year or even 9-3 in the second year isn't that great. But it is when you come in and you just do not have the athletes that you need to have at the depth that you need to have them. When you lose somebody, you need to be able to replace that with maybe a piece of a step down, not just a fall off the cliff player. Now, we've got some people coming up. I'm going to tell you right now, Kyer Elam, as a true freshman, has already proved to me he is going to be one of the best corners in college football ever if he stays healthy. We have to have the rotation to try to get these guys rest and keep them healthy. That is one issue with every college football team. They have to stay healthy. Let me tell you, I was so impressed with South Carolina. They dropped down to their third string quarterback, who is a wide receiver, tight end, or whatever type guy. I heard the story, but I didn't. He was a quarterback in high school, but he's played nothing but wide receiver since he got into college. And he came on and performed admirably against that vaunted Georgia defense that, got beat by a 2-3 South Carolina team. Now, I do believe that the 2-3 South Carolina team is better than people are giving them credit for. I do not want the Gators to fall into a trap game. No, I don't. I was fixing to say I hate it for South Carolina that they're getting us after we lose to LSU, but I do not. Dang friggin' internet. I'm going to pause this for a second. I'll be right back. I can't even leave music playing though, because that sucks, but I'm going to try. I'll be right back. Let me remove myself from the stream. Y'all can have a black screen for me. All right, let's see if we're back yet. Are we back? I think we're back. Let me go over here to the let me refresh this. Yeah, we're back. And guess what? It's a lot clearer. That video looks so much. I just need to learn to freaking reboot my modem right before I go on stream and just do it that way. It just makes no sense. There we go. All right. So the cool thing about this forum that we're doing right now is that it's for chat interaction. And I know a lot, like I said, a lot of you guys are not as into college football as much as I am. Because I watch on Saturday, I get up at say 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock on Saturday. I pull up the blog posts from everything that was written the day before. I read all of those, look at everything I can on YouTube, and then I go and I watch College Game Day up until 10 o'clock when I switch over to SEC Nation and I flop back and forth between the two. And then I watch football from noon until 2 a.m. the following morning. I watch every conference. I don't care what conference it is. I'll pick a game, whatever game suits my fancy, and watch it. I want to talk about the top 25. I want to talk about not how teams are actually winning, okay? Because had you told me that Clemson was the number 3 team in the country, I would have been like, well, they're blowing the doors off everybody. But if you go back until they played Florida State, it was football. Okay, I'm sorry, it just was. It was not great football. Trevor Lawrence did not look like the phenom that he was last year. And I don't know that I think that one of the problems with Trevor Lawrence is that he's trying to live up to the hype instead of just playing like he should. That's pretty much it. I think he was just trying to live up to the hype and trying to do too much. Can't do that as a quarterback. You cannot, for the most part, once, those generational type quarterbacks that can put the whole team on their back and tote them. And we had one of those years and years and years ago. I'm about tired of that. It's like going, hey, you're not as good as Spurrier. He won the Heisman in 66. Well, he did. He won it in 66. Danny Werfel, Rex Grossman. They're all great past quarterbacks. Tim Tebow has a statue out there. I've got a picture of me and Werfel in front of his statue. He has a statue in front of the stadium. That's great. That's great. Guess what? We don't have those. They're gone. They're out of the school. Once a player leaves the Florida team, I don't really follow them into the NFL. A lot of people follow their players and they're all like, well, he was a Gator. And don't get me wrong. A lot of times if I watch an NFL team with my wife, I will pick the team that has the most Florida Gators on it to root for. Other than that, I don't really follow folks. I was seeing some articles on Bleacher Report about XFL, draft. And, these former Gators got drafted in the XFL. Well, if they're playing in the XFL, it means they couldn't make it in the NFL, which is okay. I don't have a problem with that, but I don't really care. I don't really care that they are playing in the XFL. Not my cup of tea. I want to watch college players play. My wife, she's the exact opposite. She loves NFL football, which is okay too. Okay. And since I don't have any Gator fans in here, and probably none of you watched that game, I don't know. It was the highest rated viewing game of the season with 6.4 million people tuning in to watch that game. So there was quite a few people that watched it. So if you did watch it, comment in the live chat right now. Tell me what you thought. What did you see? Because and even though you try to look at it unbiasedly, and I said LSU was a better team, how do you look at that game when you're not a Gator fan, Buttram? If you watched it, you're not a Gator fan. What did you see? Did you see an overmatched team, or did you just see a team that was, just they were playing above their station in the Gators? Do you think, or whatever? I don't care. What did you see? What did you see in college football from the weekend that gives you pause? And I'm going to sit here and work on this while I'm talking to y'all, because somebody replaced their FET this morning and then just immediately poked a hole in it. So I replaced this again this morning, and then just kind of like poked a little hole in it. Not very big, just a little hole. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody watches college football? Nobody got anything to say? All right, so I'll tell you what. Let's do this then. What do y'all think about this content? Leave me a comment below. I know a lot of you come over from my 3D channel and football's not your forte. But what do you think about me actually putting videos out here like this? So is this a good style? I mean, do I need to be more scripted in these? Do I need to get some more, show some plays up on the screen? Do I need to do any of that? Or is this, I just want something where we can talk about college football. It doesn't have to be. What's up, Mike? Robbie Mack says we suck. Purdue spanked Maryland. Did they really? I did not. Like I said, being at IRF, I didn't get to see that a lot. He said he don't get to watch any football. Mike says he loves football, and he's probably in his crane, running his crane right now. But I hate the stats because, like, Florida had 474 yards of total offense. LSU only had 511. So I mean, it wasn't like the disparity on the field was that much. I need a co-host. Yeah, I know she's prettier than me, right? I do need somebody to bounce stuff off of. The problem is getting somebody to do it. Nuck Foder Dame. Yeah, that's coming from a nice place in your soul, isn't it? Isn't it, Buttram? A brand new crane. You got so good they bought you a new one. Well, I know you're in hog heaven. You always stay in that crane. Let me tell you my thoughts on Notre Dame this year. They're overrated again. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, Georgia struggled against them, which basically exposed Georgia for who they are after getting beat by a 2-3 South Carolina team. Notre Dame plays good football. They do. Okay, and they play out of conference because they're not in a damn conference. They play some decent teams most of the time. That's fine. Y'all give me thumbs down about talking about Notre Dame, but as an SEC, not homer, because there's been times the ACC has beaten, and that time that Oregon was relevant, and Ohio State was relevant. And yes, Ohio State is winning this year, and they're winning well. Have to say, right, Ryan. I have to say, that. Oh, I hate that. That hurts my mouth to say, because there are two teams on the bottom of my I like football list, and the bottom one is Miami, and one step above that is Ohio State. Those are my two bottom teams as far as teams that I would watch or root for. I have rooted for Miami one time this year. And the only reason I did that is because we beat them and it makes us look better. Okay? I don't care who Ohio State's playing. I don't care. I will never, ever, ever root for Ohio State. Ever. In my life. Ever. I got to replace this and try to not tear it as soon as I replace it. They are. Ohio State is playing well. I cannot say that they're not. I have seen a couple of games where it was, what are you doing? Wow, Robbie Mack. There's been a couple of games where you go, what are you doing? It's just like Clemson and North Carolina. Okay, North Carolina's a decent team. They are not in Clemson's league when it comes to athletes and how they should be playing. Okay? And Clemson showed that when they played FSU because you're going to get Ohio State. That's fine. I'll set it on fire while it's on your head. But Clemson showed what they're capable of when they beat Florida State. Florida State has athletes all over the field. Their coaching sucks. And I'm just going to say this. And it pains me, and not because I don't despise Florida State, because I do in football. FSU is a great school. Ohio. I can't even say it. That just makes me gag. I don't care if it's the or the or shit Ohio State. I don't care. We played them. What was it 2006? Yeah, 2006. They were supposed to buck the fuck eyes. I hear you, and I can say that on this channel. But we played them. I think it was 2006 national championship, I believe. And I got so tired of hearing Ohio State's offense is just going to score all kind of points on Florida. Florida can't hang with them. It's going to be a whole lot to a little. Ohio State, Florida. It was just week in and week out. That's all we heard. We knew we were going to play, but it was just like this last week. It was all about LSU, and rightfully so. They were that much better than us. It was better. They were better than us. But during that season, all I heard was how bad Ohio State was going to beat Florida. Guess what? It was 41-14 the other way, people. But anyway, I digress. This is supposed to be about LSU and Florida. And since none of y'all watched that, I guess I'm going to have to hope that everybody in the comments that makes it to this point in the video put something down there that we can discuss on a later video. Because that's what I want to do. I want to discuss college football, not from a stats or a, spread, or because I don't bet on football. Any given Saturday or any given Sunday, this team beats this team. There's parity in disparity in college football. There's not so much in NFL. Okay, if this team is beating the hell out of this team, yes, there may be a few players that are better, but normally it's coaching and scheming and stuff like that. So it's just that is saying something, Ryan Buttram. But in college football, that's correct, Mike. You are right. But in college football, there are teams that are clearly heads and tails above the rest. Okay. Georgia last year, I think, got 6 5-star recruits. And you can say what you want to. And I will tell you this, that Mullen, our coach, is probably one of the best at getting the best he can out of 3 and 4-star talent. Okay. I don't even think we've recruited any 5-stars yet since he's been here. Maybe Kyrie Elam, I think, was one who I said is going to be a friggin' NFL great. I'm not even sure. I try to keep up with recruiting, but god dang, man, my memory just doesn't help me when it comes to that. It's just like people can look at a jersey and go, that's so-and-so. I can't remember all the numbers. They can remember plays. I don't take notes during the game because I would throw my notepad like at the TV and bust my TV. Not something I really want to do. So here's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get these out probably on Mondays or Tuesdays the rest of college football season. Of course, I'm going to be talking mostly about the Gators, but I think I'm just going to name this the eye test when it comes to college football teams. So we can talk about several of them. And if I don't see them, I won't have much input. Purdue also gave the Colts Chris Painter. And one of my biggest problems with the way college football is now, I don't know that much about Purdue. Okay. When I see Purdue versus whatever on the TV, it's not something I automatically go to. Okay. If it's not anywhere close to an SEC game that I want to watch, or a Pac-12, or a big name brand like Oklahoma, Texas, I wish I could have watched that game on Saturday. I didn't get to. I didn't get to it all. So I just, I don't keep up with every player in college football. There are certain ones. I'm so glad that Jalen Hurts is in Oklahoma. It is what it is. I'm glad he's there. He's playing up to his potential, maybe a little past it. And here we go. Are you just naming off Purdue players? What do you got? 3 now so far that actually made it somewhere? Is that it? 3 Purdue players? I don't know. I think we had 12 or 13 drafted last year. I don't know. We gave the Dallas Cowboys Emmitt Smith. I I don't know what else you want to say. There you go. There you go, Buttram. What's the game? Let's look it up. Let's look up the schedule and see what we got here. I can do that because I have it automatically. It's the top of my college football link. See, on Wednesday we've got South Alabama at Troy. Troy's a good football team. They're a good football team in the South. FCS, they're fantastic. UCLA at Stanford is on Thursday night. Ohio State at Northwestern. That may be a decent game. Northwestern is better than what people are giving them. Props for. I don't think they're going to beat Ohio State. As a matter of fact, I doubt it'll be close. Drew Brees should count for a few. No, you get one. That's it. Because if that was the case, Emmitt Smith would count for a few. See, we've got Auburn at Arkansas. I think Arkansas can win that game. I don't think they're going to, but they can. Okay, they played Texas A&M close. Auburn didn't blow out Texas A&M, but they did beat them. Auburn's defense is legit. Okay. Emmitt Smith had a couple of those, I think. Not sure. We'll see. I'm not, this is NFL. Get off NFL. I'm done with it. Clemson at Louisville. Okay. Auburn at Arkansas at noon. That would be a watch if the Gators weren't playing South Carolina at noon in South Carolina. If you just don't want to watch the Gators in South Carolina, then Auburn, Arkansas would be my second choice in that. What else we got at noon? Purdue at Iowa, Mr. Buttram. Purdue will be at Iowa. I'm taking Iowa in that. Iowa's a better football team than Purdue this year. I'm going to take Iowa to win that one. I don't do this points crap. I just look at who I think is going to win. I got Auburn at Arkansas. Auburn's going to win that. Florida at South Carolina. Florida's going to win that. And I think we're going to win it handily. Iowa will kick their butt. Houston at UConn is an interesting game at noon. Okay? Since De'Aaron King decided he was going to sit out so he'd have another year of eligibility, that's that. I think I'm going to take UConn in that. Let's see what else we got. West Virginia at Oklahoma is interesting. It's on Fox at 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. I'm more looking at a Central Time schedule. Let's see what else we got here. Wisconsin at Illinois. That's Wisconsin. Citadel at Furman. Let's pick this big game. This is at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. The Citadel at Furman. I have no friggin' clue. None. I haven't seen the Citadel play, and I haven't seen Furman play this year, so I have no idea. Let's go on down the list here. It's a whole bunch of none. Duke at Virginia's at 3:30. Virginia. Got an ant on my foot. Oregon at Washington. Oh, that's going to be pretty good. That's it. God dang it. Don't you bite me, you bastard. That's going to be pretty good. Oregon at Washington. I'm going to have to take Washington in that one. Going to have to take it. I'm going to have to take them. I just don't think Oregon's going to keep up. I don't. I just don't. I think Washington's defense is better than Oregon's defense, and Washington's offense is on par. So, yeah, I'd say that. Missouri at Vanderbilt. Missouri should cruise to that, but I think they know that, and that might pose a problem. I don't know, though. Vanderbilt's defense just has not been Furman, not Thurman. Baylor at Oklahoma State. I'm going to take Baylor over OK State. And y'all can keep track of this because I don't do a picks and go down and say, oh, I was this and this and this in the pick. I don't give a shit. I'm just picking by looking. But Baylor's been doing pretty good. Missouri's going to toast Vanderbilt, I think. So what we got? We got Kentucky at Georgia. That's going to be better than I think. In my head, I just can't see this being nothing but a one-sided victory for Georgia. I will say this. Georgia's on a revenge mission, and I hate that for Kentucky because I think the game would have been better had Georgia beat South Carolina. Then I think Kentucky would have taken it to them because I think Kentucky's a better team than South Carolina. It's at 6 o'clock on ESPN, and I'm going to have to pick Georgia. Not as easy as what people think. Let's go on down. We got Florida State at Wake Forest on ACC Network at 7:30. I'm going to take Wake Forest in that just because Florida State is a dumpster fire again. Texas A&M at Ole Miss. Let's see. Let me see if I can do this right. We've got Ole Miss. They suck. Texas A&M is going to win this. It's at Ole Miss, so home crowd advantage for them. It's on the SEC Network at 7:30. Yeah, I'm going to take Texas A&M. Tennessee at Alabama. Tennessee's going to win. No, they're not. They're not even going to come close. Not even going to be close. Alabama will have their second string lines in second quarter, maybe. You did. How about that? Purdue won a game back in 1945. Oh, wait, you weren't in school then, was you? Kansas at Texas. That's the Mad Hatter. Isn't he at Kansas or is he at Kansas State? I can't remember. But if it's the Mad Hatter, it's going to be a push. I'm going to take Texas because I think they're the better team. But Mad Hatter, you can't ever tell about that bastard. Yeah, Tennessee at Alabama. Alabama cruises. USC at Arizona. I'm taking Arizona. Arizona is, doing better than I thought. Boise State at BYU's at 10:15 Eastern time. BYU, I think. Haven't seen anything but a couple of plays from them, so I don't really know that much about them. I'm just going to pick Boise State over BYU and watch. BYU will be the better team this year. Air Force at Hawaii closes out tonight at 11 p.m. on CBS Sports Network. 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At Hawaii Air Force. I'm going to take Hawaii in that one. I mean, there's a bunch that are not on that are not scheduled yet. They're Division II FCS stuff, but those are the ones that we're going to get to watch. And then the following week, we are off, so I get to pick one for the following week. But I'll do that Monday or Tuesday, maybe even Wednesday morning of next week. All right, guys, that's it. I am going to get off of here. I got to go back to work. I do have a job to do, so I'm going to go to work now and write some code. But that's it. That's what I want to do. I want to sit here. I want to talk about football. I want to make some picks for the next week. See what y'all think. See what I think. Let's get some comments. But I do appreciate all of y'all being here. Thank you very much for watching. Again, if you're not, please hit that like and that subscribe button. I'm going to try to shorten these down a little bit because I think this one I've been going for about 40 minutes, and that's way too long for any type of show, even a live one. So we're going to do that, and I will see y'all on the flip side. Thank y'all for being members of the country club.